just give us an insight into how serious the situation of illegal sand mining is in the Western Cape and then throughout the rest of the country?
Okay, sand mining on the face of it appears to be a victimless crime. However, there are about over 200 illegal sand mines in KwaZulu-Natal and the Eastern Cape province, where it is most prevalent. In the Western Cape, because of the large tracts of land, especially the high quality of silica, which is often used for making crystal glass and high quality glass products and use in filters, there has been a dramatic increase in illegal mining in the Western Cape. It also happens that legal mines and legal miners have under their control illegal mines as well, because that will increase their profits as they don't have to pay the rates for getting a mining license. And often this is done by local people. The tragic part also is that the good quality sand that is mined is often in pristine areas like Stellenbosch, or in horticultural areas like the Philippi horticultural area, which supplies about 60% of the vegetables to Cape Town, being of course the biggest metropole in the Western Cape. Sand mining has long-term destructive consequences on the environment. Often where sand mining takes place, very little agriculture can continue or any other viable productivity. Also, it is done in an intensive basis in that large surface areas are used, unlike mining for minerals where they would go down vertically and use shorter areas. The sand mining is the opposite, and very large tracts of arable land is used. Often the sand that they need is deep below the normal sand. So they remove the top layer and then take out the bottom layer, but don't replace whatever has gone out. So because it has extractive properties, sand mining, if it continues unabated, will deplete a lot of the good quality soil that we have in the Western Cape. And that will have long-term consequences in respect of food security. Often it also happens in the poorer areas, because where there's informal dwellings, those people are less likely to object to mining in the areas, because for them it's simply a job. But if you did it in the more affluent areas, there'll be objections to it, so it often doesn't happen in those areas. So it has a double negative effect by not only harming the poorer community, but also extracting sand that could be used for the future. And sand is not replaceable like other commodities, maybe water. Well, of course, the same would go for minerals, but because it's not replaceable, once it's removed, it has long-term consequences. It could destroy your ecosystem, your animal habitats. It could poison the water, because once you remove the top layer, the underground water comes to the surface. And because that water could be connected to drinking water, you could allow toxins then to enter the water in that way. And that is what is happening in Philippi, where we have vegetables being grown, and dumping and sand mining has caused toxins to enter the water table. It has a high water table, so it very easily comes to the surface. So it certainly constitutes not only an immediate danger, but critically a long-term danger for those who are going to live in those areas. It's also lucrative because it costs you nothing to fill a bag of sand, and even if you got 10 rand for the bag of sand, it means you got some economic value. There's no real infrastructure you have to build if you do it in a small scale. And if you take the cumulative harm of all the small scale illegal sand mining, it will be a large negative quantity. It could even be worse than what the larger illegal mines are doing. With legal mining, at least you can control and manage where they mine and how much you mine. But the danger then is, if you don't have enough law enforcement to monitor what they do, then legal land mining can also destroy the environment, because they go beyond what their permit allows them. You need to have effective and efficient monitoring and prosecution, and there simply isn't that type of law enforcement available at this stage.